Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Puppet Podcast. We are here for episode 101. Yes, we touched the 100 yesterday. Now we keep doing, and it's really amazing. This podcast is a wonderful adventure. I connect with so much people. So tonight we connect with Brazilian puppeteers. It's Nina Vogel. Yes, she speaks French also, but we decide to do the interview in English to reach more people because, people ask me why you do your podcast in English. I'm just like, it's the language where you could reach a massive bunch of puppeteers, and we decide to do a lot of English interview, but for sure we try to do some French and some Spanish and have translator, and we work on that. Don't forget, we work on it. Yes, we want to have a lot of stuff going around. So what we have happening soon, we have the World Puppetry Day. I just want to bring that in the screen before we go into the interview. I want to invite you. We have the World Puppetry Day 2021 for puppeteers, and we do a party on Zoom, and we will raise some fund. It's just like the fact that we will have a party, and the money of the tickets, we will just give it to Unima to just make an exchange. It's World Puppetry Day. We have a kind of a situation worldwide, but we want to help our association. So be sure to have your tickets. So it's on our website, Puppet Podcast /Puppetry Day 2021. So be sure to have this in your agenda. So it will be at 2 p.m. It's a Sunday. So what the most amazing thing to do on a Sunday than gathering with puppeteers, with puppets, and do a kind of a number all together, a kind of lip sync from all over the world. That will be a happening. So this was the little commercial. So thank you everyone for joining, and feel free to write in the comment below from where you are watching. And yes, if you have any question for Nina during the interview, it will be my pleasure to bring it into the screen and just ask her those wonderful questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, from Brazil, she's a pioneer in the Lambi Lambi puppetry. So please welcome in the screen, Nina Vogel.
Yay! Hello, Caroline.
Yay! Thank you, Nina, for being part of the show. I'm so excited to meet you.
I am really glad to be here. It's such a joy and an honor too, because so many puppeteers that I admire from all over the world have been here. So it's an honor. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm really excited because I heard your name many times. You were in Montreal. And yes, I didn't get the chance to shake your hand in person, but I know that you influence a lot of people around, and the Lambi Lambi thing is something really special. But I want you to introduce yourself for the community who is watching. So
and I've seen your show, just to say that I've seen your Cirque du Soleil. So yes, I've seen you perform. Wow, I'm multidisciplinary artist, as we say, in Montreal and here too. And I've started actually in the music, really young age. So I learned the piano, and too many years of lyric singing, and then theater, and then most recently, the puppetry just boom, it came into a passion into my life. And I feel like if puppetry, then puppets have really chosen me. I think people say that, but it's actually true. And sometimes they say I have never imagined I would become a puppeteer, but it's not actually true, because recently my mother just found a picture. I moved now to the south of Brazil during the pandemic, and then I just received my boxes of pictures. And then my mom said, there's a picture of you playing the piano. And then when I looked at it, I always had a little puppet, really small puppet with me, a miniature. Yes. And then I just realized that actually they have always been in my life. It's just that I have never like thought of it. But then one day, boom, and then yes, I'm a puppeteer, a Brazilian puppeteer.
That's so cool. That's true that we discover those kind of crush moment that we get for the art form. Sometimes like we rewind. So that's part of the deep question of the Puppet podcast. So Nina, I will ask you if you are ready in a second, but I just want to let you know that we have some people who know your work who have watching. So Jay watch and he talk about the name of your show, Le Cœur.
Oui, ConCordis le cœur, ConCordis the heart. Oh, Patrice, hello.
Yeah, so it's really cool to have you guys during the interview, and feel free to keep chatting with us as you are watching. So let's go for the deep question of the Puppet podcast. Ready?
Yes, let's go for it.
I want to start with the crush, as you were talking when you were a kid with this picture. I want to know your crush moment. Like, it could be the first time you get this passion, but also if you have a specific moment where you get like the spark of puppetry.
So then when I was a kid, I always had like little puppets with me, and I would play. But there is a moment. It was 2015. I think it was January, February. So there's this company, this Franco-Brazilian company, and it is called Dos à Deux, Arthur et André. And they're fantastic. They work like with gestual theater. But then I went to the theater, and the story is true. I don't usually wear my glasses, but I'm foresighted. And then I was in the theater. It's so true. And then I kept like looking at the folder with the names of the casting. And I have like this friend at the time and said, like, Antonio, like, who plays the old lady? And then I kept like, wow, that's fascinating. Oh, look at her eyes. She moves really like slowly, but then my attention, like, she catch my attention. Who plays the old lady? Can't find her name. And then he just looked at me and said, oh, come on, Nina. Just stop it. Like, it's a puppet. And I said, like, what? And then I didn't have my glasses. And then I have this thing that I do. And my mom always hates that I do. But then I started like, oh my God, it's a puppet. And it's so true, Caroline. It was like a question about something that, like, boom. And then I went home and I'm like that. When I fall in love with something, when I got this crush on something, then I can't sleep and I can eat. Like, I can get obsessed. And then I went home and I just thought, like, I have to do a puppet. And I was like, for 5 years, I have to say that it was like 3 years at the time. I was making this research on Toulouse-Lautrec, the French painter, the 19th century French painter. And I found that when I played the women that he drew, it was really nice. Then the singers, the dancers, and oh yes, really nice. But when I played him, it was like too caricatural. And then then this idea came like, what if Toulouse-Lautrec was a puppet? The next thing, can you imagine? Like, I think 1 month and a half later, I found myself in Chile for 2 months. I don't know how I was selected because I have never built until that moment a puppet. But then I just did like the first artistic residence, résidence artistique, like a series of artists from all over the world, from Natasha Belova and Tita Jacobelli, that now have the Belova Jacobelli company. They're so great. And then we spent like 2 months in Chile, and I have never done. It was my first puppet. Toulouse-Lautrec is there. His head is there. And then I discovered that I had these abilities, and I just dived like in this fascinated universe that is puppetry. And since then, it went like many things happened, and I'm here.
Wow, it's such an interesting story to get from this obsession and this
Yeah.
like surprise. It's so cool. And let me ask you the why. The other deep question is what makes the art of puppetry an art that you cherish?
Well, and then 2 years later, I went to Montreal. And I'm going to answer your question, but just telling this because when I arrived in Montreal, so I got 2 scholarships like from the Quebec government.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I didn't know that it was possible. I didn't enroll for it. I thought it was a mistake, actually, to be true. My stories are all crazy. That's why I say puppetry have chosen me like puppets. But anyway, so I went to Montreal to specialize because they have a great course at Le 2SS on contemporary puppetry at UQAM, the Université du Québec à Montréal. But I think that puppetry is a universe in itself. And I realized that the more I studied it, and when I arrived in Montreal, I discovered that I had a different approach to puppetry. And that's the interesting thing. And I keep doing researches like theoric and also practical, of course, all the time. But I do theoretical research like independently, because for me, it's not just entertainment. It can be, and I know like really wonderful puppeteers that work like that. But for me, I work like a little bit different. I believe that there are stories and there are characters and some, let's say, like energies, why not, that want to like win and to gain life, to be animated. So for me, it's more like a ritual, like this moment, and if you are generous enough, you let something pass, and then there's this spark that merges into this thing. And then from that moment, this thing gains life. But I also believe in the ritual of presence, of being there. It's symbiosis of you and the puppet. And I know that's not like that for everyone. So, but I think it's a ritual. But it can also be entertainment. And I think the difference between manipulating and animating, but that's their concepts and things. But I truly believe that when the puppeteer is generous, that when I say generous, it's like the puppeteer doesn't put himself or herself in front like I'm a virtuosis. Like, no, it's just like allows this thing to come and then plays with it, because it's this relation between the puppet and the puppeteer, or the object or the thing and the being. I believe that there is a magic that goes like really that can happen. It's not always that happens, but when it happens, you know. And also the audience also projects. So this magic, I believe, happens like between the puppeteer, the being, and the audience too.
Wow, it's such a lot of like, I think at the same time it's philosophy of presence, but also of life, like how you put your personality there, or you let this thing happen and you give this object power. It's really interesting the way you said it.
Yeah, and also because my first puppet was Toulouse-Lautrec, and we have to think like I spent like 7 years really risking his life. And less performance, I don't call it a performance. I really like just gave him life into the streets in Paris. It was 2019, right, before the pandemic. And really like great things happened, like incredible things, and also bad things, because Toulouse-Lautrec had a difficult life. So people that were with me, at some point, I remember like the photographer, he said that, okay, there's something here I cannot explain. And as I said, I'm foresighted. And then sometimes like a thought came like, wow, what a beautiful red haired lady. And then I was like, what? like thoughts coming and things. So yeah, I think that there's something like if you go to Bali, to India, to China. In Bali, for example, they have these presentations like for shadow puppetry.
Yeah.
Just like a ritual for the dead, invisible. And then people go like, what, are they crazy? No, it's part of their culture. But then but Nina, but you don't live in Bali. Yes, I know, but I am Brazilian. and then we have, as like in Canada, our ancestors, at least my ancestors, come from Amerindians, and Europe is really a melted between all these cultures.
Yes.
Right. And then I really believe that there's something like in the way the Amerindians and these relations we have with nature is different than other cultures, and the way we talk like energy and matter, they don't have a difference. Everything energy. And so when you think like that, you respect, and I really believe that this fantastic invisible universe, like some forms just want to become like materialized, and they want to gain life.
Totally. No, but you're right with the terms ritual is really something key, I think, who align this practice of art and this ritual as theater, and also the fact that you are playing a character from the history is giving something a bit magic about like I give it a voice to the history towards this puppet, and it's really interesting.
1.5 centuries after it. So yeah, and that something happened. Like they tried to. There was a man that tried to destroy the suitcase with Lautrec. It came out of nowhere. This is true. Yeah, that was the bad part. But the good part, the magical one, was then at one moment we just like climbed the stairs of Montmartre, because I have been like to other arrondissement in Paris with him, but then I said, I think he deserves to go to Montmartre again. And then I was a bit stressed. There were like too many people, because before, like all this agglomeration, all the tourists and from all over the world, and Chinese, and like all that big selfies with Lautrec, and then I was like, oh God, okay. And then he walks in a different pace of me. It's completely different rhythm, and it's like this being really discovering the 21st century, and the city is different. And then I said, okay, I'm allowing this to come, and I will go. And then I went up the stairs, and then when I arrived, like you passed like the basilique, and then you go like there's a turn to the left, and there's always some artists, the painters in the streets. And that was the moment that was magical, because then goes Lautrec and his pace like really slowly, and then he started like with one old man, the painter, he approached without saying a word, and then he just did a sign and took his hat out, and then I was touched. He said, he's my master. And then he started calling like the other painters, and I was like, and then the photographer, I had a friend with me, and everybody, and it was a sign of respect, really. But for them, this was a symbol of this painter that was their master, like, have done so much for the French art and French history, and had not been recognized until 2019. It was the first big exhibition of Lautrec at Le Grand Palais. So 1.5 centuries later. But then to tell you that they wanted to give him money, I said, no. And he said, yes, please. And I was touched, because these artists that live, like the tips that they receive in the streets, that they made a reference to Lautrec, of course, and then wanted to give him their money in the hat. So it was touching. It was magical. And then I thought, this exceeds like the limits of a stage. This is real life. The street, and it's like, that's why, like, for me, it was the first puppet. It was so strong as an experience, And I performed also on the stage. I have like a short performance, and then I have the big one.
That's so
Yeah.
amazing.
And I think, and one thing that I realized that I think is the difference in the approach, because I studied contemporary puppetry, and usually the ritual, it comes from really the traditional puppetry, like from these countries that I mentioned. So people go like, okay, a contemporary puppeteer. It's
And
kind
ritual.
of
The influence is really interesting, actually, to mix both of that. And I will ask you this tricky question about the field of study, because it's funny how every puppeteers have a different background and story. But for you, what would be the best field of study to become a puppeteer?
life.
Yeah.
I will explain. No, there are some like self-taught puppeteers. Like, the puppeteer that came from your show, yes, it was amazing puppeteer, self-taught. And there are people I studied, but there are so many things that I'm self-taught too. I created, like, I don't know. I didn't learn that in the school.
Yeah.
I think that all puppeteers are multidisciplinary artists, but not all multidisciplinary artists are puppeteers. And that's sad. I really think it's universal art. It's the fascinating crossing of the visual arts, the art of the scene, music, and then now technology. So there are really no limits. There are no limits for puppetry. And I've seen like some puppeteers had like study drums for the rhythm, but I really think like anything you learned during your life, throughout your life, you can usually really apply it in puppetry.
Yeah.
Really. And even like languages, speaking languages, because it's an international field, like when you go. But mainly I would say the person has to have some perhaps sculpture and drawing.
Yeah.
But not all puppeteers that make puppets perform.
That's true also.
It's a tricky question. It depends. But I would say
Yeah.
anything life is anything you learn, you can apply to puppetry at one point.
I love this answer. It's kind of like we express life with objects, so to experience it is the way to represent it. It's really interesting. And I want to know if you have in your own word your definition of a puppet. How you voice it. What is a puppet?
I think, as I said, like, this is a spark. It's a spark of life that happens in a moment between the puppeteer, when the puppeteer allows like channeling this energy, or this, through the hands, through the body, and the puppet itself, and the eyes of the public, the eyes of the audience. I think that's spark of life that happens during this, and this is presence, because you need the puppeteer really to be attentive and present, and also the audience to pay attention. So it's a ritual of presence, but it's a spark of life caused by this. I'm really like, I'm being like philosophic, but it's true.
I love it. I love it. Let's go. What the audience say?
Okay.
So yeah, we have Rubina. Yeah, use what you learn in life to teach thing about life. Puppet. Yeah, that's so true, Rubina. Puppet teach us how to live.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
So people are philosophical also, I think, in the field of puppetry. That's so cool.
Yeah.
and I want to ask you, because you travel a lot also in your career with those performances. I want to hear from you if you feel puppetry is in an ascension. Is it getting more popular in your perception?
Yeah, definitely. I think yes. There are like this notion, like for some people in Brazil, and I think abroad too, it happens that puppetry is like things for kids, but I think this like more and more. other artists that not just puppeteers, but they are working with puppetry. And as puppetry is also approaching more technological,
Yeah.
it's like I have this friend that from UConn that she was doing a research on the augmented reality. Also including like visuals. So this is like fascinating. I think this is the next thing, and I think it's really in ascension, and people are getting like more interested too. So
Yeah, we and that's good to set it, because we observe many different things from different part of the world, but many people agree that we feel some boiling stuff around puppetry. And let me ask you your goal, like your big thing you want to achieve in your career with puppetry. Do you have something you envision for the future?
Yeah, I think I would like to continue inspiring people, like, and making this fantastic worlds I put in plural because it's like I wanted to continue creating between artistic languages, because I am in between too, all these languages. But I think my goal would be like to really, I am presenting to the entire world. I hope that we can be in presence, like presential again soon, at some point. But I would like to have my signature, and what I mean by that is something that is unique and have my signature, but to inspire people to continue like really inspiring, creating these fantastic worlds.
Wow, that's a really yeah, it's an amazing goal. And I want to hear a bit of you. It's out of the script, but I want to hear this story about the Zoom. Like, you teach actually some workshop online with Zoom about Lambi Lambi, and maybe to place Lambi Lambi for our guests who are watching, like our spectator, auditor.
I don't have how to put it here, but here it's my heart. I don't know if you can like.
I would put it, like this.
So this is my heart, as you can see, it's huge. Yay!
Wow!
So this is actually instead of built in a box, a Lambi Lambi box, it is the traditional form of Lambi Lambi. And then for the public that doesn't know, Lambi Lambi is a miniature puppetry form that was created in Brazil 31 years ago for just one viewer at a time. And then so I created and I carry it like really in front of me normally. So I have like this cap, and there is Titilo. Titilo is not here. He's there, but he's sleeping. Sorry. He's sleeping now. And then he performed too much, was tired. But then he goes like in the search of what can make his little heart beat again. So he's the being that lives in my heart. And let me just stay there. Yeah. And then this is my brain.
Let me go closer.
Yeah. I usually this is I put in my hand. Yeah, so there's at one point he climbs to the brain, so there's a connection between the brain. He thinks like, okay, and then this is a non-word performance. And then he climbs and he goes like trying to fix, because maybe it's in the brain, the problem. And then he goes down. But the interesting thing about this is unique, really. This is totally unique.
And beautiful. It's really beautiful.
From the inside, yeah. So it has like rooms. Just a moment. And then
I will put you full screen. You will have like the full,
Yeah. Wow. So then when I perform, I normally don't show all the things. And then here there's another thing. Here's like the drawer. So there are messages, there are things that go there. And here's the secret chamber. The secret chamber, I cannot unfortunately I cannot show in the screen, but the secret chamber, people go like, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
There's literally a cosmos inside the secret chamber. So it's like a journey in miniature, and I invite people into my heart. And then what happened is that when the pandemic started, I had been selected to be a presenter at Puppet Power that is supposed to happen in Calgary last year. And I don't know. I think it was part of my naivete. I was a little bit naive and genius, but then I just thought like, I'm going to adapt it online. And I didn't think how my camera, the lighting, I didn't think. I just felt like I have to continue to present because I was supposed to go to Bali, to China, and to a lot of countries presenting. And then suddenly, no, you have to stay at home. And I was like, what? What? No, I have to continue. And then, well, I had like a little room. I was in São Paulo at my mom's house, and I said, I'm going to do my best. And I would try to move, so I call it danceability, because the camera is the webcam, and I have just to make these rooms fit and approach. So I approach and go because I was alone, and here I am alone too. I didn't know how people were going to react. I didn't know if people were going to connect. And then that was the amazing thing, because it was really, I don't believe in success as people believe it. I think when there's connection and there's coherence, that is success. And then, okay, it was a success. And then they opened, like they have a waiting list. I presented also the conference in English and in French, so people had this approach. And then this year, Open Eye Theater in Minneapolis in the United States, I don't know, someone saw this and they invited me. So I also presented like 30 sessions, then waiting list. So I went to 40 sessions in January, and now the workshops. And I will continue presenting because it can happen online. Despite some people think like you cannot have a connection, but you actually can. And then I started talking, because normally we present this in the streets or in the theaters, and we talk because it's so intimate, like to have this contact eye to eye with the person right in front of you, and this like opening my heart literally to the person. And then I started talking, and all these conversations like you have here, that it's amazing. Like I have performed now more than 100 times so far too. And that it's so amazing to get to know people from all over the world. So the magic was like, I didn't know who was coming. You knew, because you have invitation guests, but like I didn't. So it was like a surprise every time. And these conversations, I started like to getting more space, more time for them. And actually, I'm doing a poetic documentary out of all these recordings with another Brazilian artist, yes. And so ConCordis just like went from the streets to the online, and then I also transposed it to a stop motion, and then we were awarded in South Korea last year. Yeah, we were awarded at the Changchun International Puppet Festival. So like this heart, I think the heart itself, it's universal.
Yeah.
We're 5.5 billion hearts in the planet. Who doesn't have a heart? So really, like just the image of it, it's strong. So it talks for itself. Yeah.
And the little brain. I think it's such a deep image, and you impress. We have Kiri who say, very nice, wow. Then you say, wow, very cool, thank you. And we have Shelly. We were talking about you, Shelly, just a little bit before. ConCordis is one of the most amazing performances I had the privilege to see. So, yes.
And Shelly appears in the poetic documentary. So when we'll be launched, yes, she was one of the people that saw, like in the first performances sessions last year. But such sweet, nice person.
Yeah, Shirley, we love you. And yes, I think it's a wonderful like journey that you get with the online world. I feel you are so passionate and you bring this passion towards the audience and connecting. It's really, as you said from the top, you were talking, it's not just entertainment, it's art and connection and ritual of presence. So
Yeah.
I really get this wonderful deep artist philosophy that you have. It's so cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I really live for it, and this passion. I think you also have this passion. You feel it like it's strong, it's big. You have to go for it, really. Like so, yeah. But and during the pandemic, I also think that this heart was something that connected because there were so many people that were like scared, alone. And so there was like really this kind of attention that come in one-on-one and really inviting each person to approach and see and having the time and the attention to talk to like one person at a time. I think this is also special. This is
it's like a privilege. It's a privilege performance for the one who do it, for the audience who receive it. It's something really special and spiritual, I would say.
I think the word that I heard it like most, like really all the time is like, oh, this is such a gift. People say this is a gift. This is
wow.
A gift. Okay, but I had no idea. I created this heart. So the premiere was in Montreal too in 2019 in November, just before, like after the tour with Low Track in Paris. Then I went to Montreal, and then the launch was at Lambi Lambi. National de la Marionnette. And then the pandemic came, so you can believe like I presented like sometimes in the streets and also festivals, but not that much compared to Low Track. So I didn't know what to get from the audience. Everything was so fresh and new, and now I think more people are getting the hang of it, like how things work. And
that's so interesting. So Nina, we are almost at the end. I want to know if you want to show us maybe another character that you have in the back to conclude.
Here, this little girl, she will introduce herself. Lona run. Hello. What's her name? Her name is Caroline. Hello, Caroline. Can I go now? Puck. Sorry, Naren. Get out of here. Hi. Hello. I'm Puck. I'm gonna call you here. Is it my turn already? Out. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I come from Shakespeare's Midsummer's Night's Dream, and I give workshops also. I'm a royal actor. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry for that. Yeah, and oh, you're pretty. Oh. Sorry for that.
Thank you, Puck. That Shakespeare Puck is so cool. Thank you, Puck, to be part of the Puppet podcast. I really enjoy to have a Shakespeare character in this show.
I love you, so pretty. Okay, come on. Bye. Yeah. Bye. Yeah. The run, she's so sweet, and Puck is so like mischievous and stubborn. Yeah.
That's good to have a Puck also to make some joke and silly stuff. I think we all have a little Puck in ourselves.
Yeah, we performed to China last year too. Can you believe it? Puck was something that I created when I was student in Montreal, and we have to adapt Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare Midsummer Night's Dream. And I don't know, like how China discover again. Like I don't know. I think internet really puts you like out there to the world. And then I got this invitation, and I had to recreate everything, but it was so fun. Yeah.
That's really great. Nice. And we have Julio say good voice. I think you'll have like the voice that you do for Puck. I feel it's really clever.
Yeah, Julio. When I presented to China, they asked me to give also a workshop how to give voice to a puppet. Yeah. So
Oh,
then, like all my lyric singing ears make a
yeah.
difference in this. So like as I said, to puppetry, you can really apply a lot of knowledge from other artistic languages too, or life
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nina, for your time, your talent. I feel it was a pleasure to chat with you and enter into your world and understand your philosophy of art. It's so great.
Thank you. Thank you from all my heart. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Naran, I love her. And thank you all for the audience and friends and everyone that is out there. It's a pleasure. It's my honor to be here. And I hope that Puppet Podcast has like a great long life. It's nice to have puppeteers here.
Yay! So cool. We have Patrick who say thank you, wonderful interview, and Aileen who say congrats. It's so great. So I will, Nina, have to push you out of the screen, but stay in the
Okay.
virtual studio. We will
Oh,
chat after. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, Shirley, we say thank you to you both. Yeah, Nina is for you too. You are so inspirational. This is a hard word for me. Thank you. Thank you, Robina, also. Yeah, thank you for watching. And I invite you, we have this World Puppetry Day party that we do for puppeteers on Zoom. I want to have a lot of puppeteers gathering and we will see video, we will have live performance. So you just have to go on our website, Puppet Podcast / World Puppetry Day 2021, and you can buy a ticket and it's free. But if you give money, we give it to Unima. And yes, it's kind of like we want to flow money, give money to help our field. So this is the project. So yeah, please feel free to share this and join and invite your friends. We want to be 500 on Zoom. Let's challenge this. Let's gathering all the community from all over. So cool. Yeah, thank you. The energy and enthusiastic. Yes, that's part of the show. I feel it's part of my personality, but I want to bring the spotlight towards puppeteers. And yeah, if you want to know more, discover other puppeteers, we have this Patreon also. So have a look on that. We have plenty of workshop. We will have one of like to get viral. What is those aspects of viral puppetry stuff? And a lot of building workshop is on this website. So you can like subscribe and watch all of that back and from the past to now. So all is available on Patreon. So yeah. So that's it for commercial. And thank you again, everyone. We will have another episode next week. Let's stay tuned for that. And now it's time for the jingles. Bye-bye.